Callum looks like he's going on a bomb.
Here we go. Callum Robson digs into this one. Drops in, drains through this section, spit and the exit for Callum Robson.
Are you kidding me? Oh my gosh. That has to be something around the 10-point red. It has. Oh my gosh. That thing was so thick. Looked like off the wall. Like, that was crazy. Just bottomed down. He was so late to the party. It looked like he was going to nosedive, but he somehow managed to press his back foot and just engage those fins and drive through that huge barrel. And amazing spit too, which is an extra bonus for him.
Oh, the judges didn't take too long. They know what they're seeing. The Red Bull competitors area, they love it. A perfect 10 for Callum Robson and a Yeti 110 cooler, the first one we're going to give away this year.
I guess you can't really train for this kind of stuff, Kaipo, right? You can't really simulate how you're going to be feeling when you're under pressure and you're against the wall. Meanwhile, let's stick with live here from deep. Here goes Griff with a ton of speed, massive air.
And what?
And he stomps it. That thing was huge. Let's have a look at the replay.
The replay, and this is the punt. Yardage, full rotation this time, and lands, stomps the landing. Let's take a look at it from above. Griffin Colapinto high up in the sky with the full rotation, points the nose back towards the beach, completion there, and let's take a look and enjoy this punt in slow motion, and the air time, the hang time, the catch, the stomp, and the ride out for Griffin Colapinto.
So a lot of great choices here in Peniche. You meet a lot of different people from around the world doing the surf school, then watching the world's best here at Super Tubos. Drawn out takeoff and running for the exit is De Souza. Always passionate, always ready to look up to the sky to find that spiritual connection with the waves. He's had a couple of threes before, so it had to feel amazing to get barreled against Pupo.
Jordy Smith, now one of the veterans on tour, 31 years of age. Qualified back in 2008. Finished runner-up in the world in his third season as we have a full rotation. Already thrown down by Italo.
My goodness.
Gained that drive, and that was beautiful from Griffin.
Now a little chip in for Colapinto as he heads left. A big cave setting up. Pulls up and under, still traveling. Colapinto into daylight. What a read from Griffin Colapinto.
At this point, John Florence is probably more concerned with what Medina's doing than what Jordy Smith is up to, because pipe is one of Gabe's favourite waves. He's going to take off here, looking left. He tucks in. He's deep in the barrel, looking for an exit. Can he make it through this one? He's still going, and he holds on. How good is he under pressure? Amazing stuff. The lights were out inside that barrel. It was so dark. He was so deep. But he ended up putting the lights on, Strider.
This is incredible.
Here we go. Draw Chianca, foamy barrel ride, makes it through there. Chumbinho.
Thank you, Super Tubos.
Wow, it's a show right now. We just saw two amazing waves, three amazing waves actually, but definitely not there for João and Jack.
Sitting above the peak here at Super Tubos, we're watching Gabriel Medina go at it against Griff Colapinto. Here's a great looking meaty right-hander and pulling in nice and deep. Absolutely blasted out by a massive spin. Griffin Colapinto.
So she didn't get to experience it in those early title days when she had qualified for the tour. Here comes Carissa, pulls right in under the hood. Moore makes it.
Wow.
Lays down the forehand cutty and jams the finishing move. Incredible ride for world number one.
Because it's a wave ridden that it's maybe a barrel that you're getting pounded on. Maybe it's a fall, you know, whatever it may be. It's definitely, we're watching perfect barrels and someone gets spit out.
Callum Robson emerging there, and he likes it. He's been getting barreled all event, really. Got the perfect 10 on Big Sunday.
Check this out, backdooring that section so deep, probably the deepest barrel we've seen all day long, and just, you saw all the energy was just stuck in one part of the wave because that wave disappeared after, but look at that pump, just driving through, coming out with the spit, so the judges are gonna love that.
One more time. Let's enjoy this.
This is a nice side angle. You can really see that pump that he does right there. Another one. And then as soon as he was going for the third one, he notices that he's just matching the speed of the wave and he just cruises there and know he's coming out. So that was amazing ride for Italo.
Italo Ferreira, just a world champ, a two-time MEO Rip Curl Pro Portugal champ.
All right, here's the reply. Here goes Leo Fioravanti in the tube. He's traveling and he comes out. Fioravanti is absolutely delighted. He disappeared from view. The late takeoff straight into the tube, knifes it in, and all smiles in his camp. What a wait with now 30 seconds on the clock from Leo Fioravanti to get himself back in this heat, and it looks like back in the quarters.
Same coach as Kanoa and Jake Peterson. We'll see what kind of game plan they're setting up for Leo Fioravanti. Big ramp setting up, big whip, perfect landing for Medina. Back to the top for another hack. And now looking for a third move, down carve slice. And how about that? That was unbelievable.
He's looking scary. Looked really fun to do.
And here comes a fun left. Dora wants to go for the air. Stumbled a bit, but still holds his composure to lay down the alley-oop. Oh, wow. Jams it shut. This is the day that we were hoping for at Super Tubos. Enjoying the aerial show with combination of turns. This is exactly what Yago loves to do at Super Tubos, Jesse.
Look at this line. She draws it, does the pump, but then takes that top line through the corner. That's a hard line to come up high in the bowl like that and then hold it through and not kind of slide out the bottom and get hit by the lip. So great work by Courtney to open up and finishing up into that whitewater froth. Big, long, clean float line. Stays over the board. Great technique.
Here we are back. João Chianca pulling in, pulling out, making it again.
Unbelievable. He took off like in the lip. How is that even possible?
Well, defying physics, gravity, whatever you want to call it. João Chianca getting it done there. We'll be waiting for that score of João, who's already has a big lead, Jesse, over Jack Robinson.
So this is John going right. Big, perfect right-hand barrel. Wow, what a wave. Cracks off the top right there to finish it off.
Best wave so far in this heat.
Meanwhile, here goes Jordy, and he's deep as well. Gets a big pump in, completely disappears, and gets hosed out. He loves it. So a brilliant exchange there. A couple of clips on the end, but it's all about the tube here this morning. And another great ride from the South African veteran. So polished in a variety of conditions. Loves the tube. Such a natural performer.
Knowing that he can come back if he gets a shot. It might be decision time for Frederico with priority. But they're still out of position for the left. But meanwhile, Nat Young is in a cave. One more section, he comes flying out. Front side roundhouse complete for the Californian. On a morning that has been absolutely perfect. 100% make rate for Nat Young this morning at Super Tubos. John Florence representing Alex Florence for International Women's Day. His mother, that is incredible surfer, snowboarder, skateboarder, free falling into the pit. Florence, wow, standing tall, making it look so easy, getting the ride of the day.
Yeah, we played through the tide. 2:54 local time. We've already passed the high tide mark. Here goes Jordy Smith. Finds a right. Looking down the line. Needs something big. Looks for the ramp. Launches. Big full rotation air. Puts it down.
Holy mackerel. That was incredible.
That was it.
Well, you would have to say lead change for Jordy Smith with minute 45. Kanoa let him take that wave. It was a closeout, but that's the thing that can happen here is that these surfers are so incredible, they can put numbers up with closeouts.
And, you know, just being between the best of all, it was an amazing experience I'll never forget.
Absolute charger these days, getting herself into some amazing condition as we see. Gabriel Medina with a big wind-up, tail-high reverse. Whoa. Perfect landing on the roof. Hammers it in the pocket and still has room to move on the inside. What an incredible start for Gabriel as he will shut it down, looking so solid.
with his eye on the prize. Good punt on the end section. Here comes a bowling left for the 3-time world champ. Big hammer there to kick things off. Trills it again with the fins out in front. Little slash to fin release and shuts it down with a 4th turn through the backwash. Impressive heat for Gabriel here in the quarterfinals, and he is going to be even more dangerous as he gets into the later rounds on finals day, Miguel.
Yeah, this guy is serial killer. Seems like when he puts on his momentum together, he just has no holding back, and you really see all the energy he puts in there. Like he threw airs, he threw turns, backhand turns.
She went as high as 8, Joe.
Now ramp on the backhand for Italo. Full rotation, stomps it again. Wow. What a flurry of action.
Now
Ferreira.
that one's going to go.
Where's Jack?
For Jesse to remain in that qualification conversation for next year, and for Owen to keep knocking down the doors. As we see, Peterson Crisanto flies it, lands it. Love what we are seeing. He's been so silent so far against Jeremy Flores, but just pulled it out.
So sick to watch and to see him wind up. I wanted to jump in while you were calling the wave just because you saw that section coming, and I was coming out of my skin just waiting for it to happen. And you knew he was going to do it. He did one of the biggest airs we've seen.
Italo Ferreira, showtime, going down the line, throws it in the air for the full rotation, and that's going to change the situation.
In a big way. Well done.
Of all the quarterfinalists, he's been putting up the best numbers today, but at the moment we've got Julian well set up, and he's going to find an exit on his first ride. So a beautiful barrel to kick this one off, and room to move down the line, and looking freed up on the open face with that new equipment.
And he was doing the same thing. He was just moving his arms and hitting the water after. He said he was still clamming it underwater.
Yeah.
He said this is what he comes to do, just put on a huge performance like this.
You see, that was the full rotation. That's what I love to see. That is just going for it, throwing everything into it, getting that total rotation, facing straight at the beach when you land. That has just shown total commitment right there, and that's going to be a huge score for Andino.
A 9.63 for Kolohe.
Stay on the face right there, and Josh Kerr's up and riding now.
Driving down the line, a huge alley-oop attempt, and he greases the landing. And that might just be the score that Josh needs. I think that's been the one thing, Strider, that's eluded him the last season, is his strike rate with the airs has gone down a little bit. He's certainly picking it up here at the end of the year, and that was a beauty. At this point, John Florence is probably more concerned with what Medina's doing than what Jordy Smith is up to, because pipe is one of Gabe's favourite waves. He's going to take off here, looking left. He tucks in. He's deep in the barrel, looking for an exit. Can he make it through this one? He's still going, and he holds on. How good is he under pressure? Amazing stuff. The lights were out inside that barrel. It was so dark. He was so deep. But he ended up putting the lights on, Strider.
It's 9-4 for now. This one was extra deep pots.
Yeah, I mean, look at that driving. I kind of written him off. It was very a la Jack Freestone yesterday, where kind of thought, there's no way he's coming out of that. And then all of a sudden, he appears. This is the kind of the angle that you're looking at and you're thinking, well, there's no way he's made it through that. Then there was a little glimpse of him further back, up and over the foam ball, probably not once, but twice.